Did you know that the human being's #1 fear isn't death, but public speaking? That means that for the average person, when attending a funeral, they would rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. Anyone who has attended Enspire Academy knows otherwise, and in fact, enjoys public speaking, although preferably not at a funeral. I've been looking forward to this day and the opportunity to share with all of you a little bit about myself, as well as my experience at Enspire Academy. First, a little bit about me this coming year. I have been fencing competitively for the past 4 years, and that's fencing the sport, not building a fence. This previous year, I was on the school fencing team, and I really enjoyed the experience, and I'm looking forward to doing that again this coming year. One other interest of mine is buying and selling shoes, as well as various clothing garments. In this business, known as reselling, I will find a source or a person selling the product for a lower price, buy it, and sell it for more, making a profit. The Boost Confidence program at Enspire Academy has definitely helped me in my business. It's improved my negotiation skills and my ability to find a good deal without agreeing reluctantly. One other benefit that this program has done for me is that it's improved my ability to maintain a conversation, as well as make a great speech. Probably the biggest impact this course has had on me is that it's really cleared my mind and planted seeds of positivity in it. Now I know the difference between amazing words such as can, will, and definitely, and not so amazing, toxic words like can't, maybe, and even try. Now I have a clearer lens for my future, and I'm confident I will achieve my goals without being held back by my own negativity. Like many of you, I have something I want to be, something I achieve to be. There's one man that inspires me, and although I do not want to follow the same career path as him, he is definitely someone I look up to. I'm sure many of you also have your own childhood inspirations, and maybe ones today. Would any of you care to share any of them? No? No one? That's fine. But I'm sure many of you would say successful people, maybe Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, all done great things. And although my inspiration hasn't done something that impactful, he's definitely someone that I look up to. Big Brendan Carter is a fitness celebrity, a YouTuber, and the owner of a $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company, and an entrepreneur. However, he wasn't always this successful, and in fact, struggled a lot as a kid. Brendan was born in the south side of Chicago, a dangerous area, and he was often picked on and bullied for being small. Living in the south side, a very violent place, Brendan knew that he had to get stronger if he wanted to protect himself, and in fact, survive. So he started working out, and after a few years of hard work, he finally became known as one of the bigger kids on the block. Brendan also had a passion for music, and he's quite talented at it. He even got a record deal with Sony Music and decided to pursue music as a career. Brendan decided to move to New York and achieve his dreams in the music industry. However, one day, that dream was torn apart. Sony Music merged with BMG, and the people who had hired Brendan Carter were fired. Now Brendan was alone and jobless in one of the world's most expensive cities. Brendan started working multiple jobs. He worked for a moving company, he worked as a waiter, and he worked at an Abercrombie store. However, these jobs weren't giving him the money that he wanted. So what did Brendan Carter turn to? Drug dealing. Brendan became a drug dealer. Brendan finally had the money he wanted and was living the dream life. He had cars, money, girls, a nice house, friends, all of that. But he wasn't really content with himself. There are 3 reasons Brendan decided to leave drug dealing. First, his friend, who was also a drug dealer, was caught. He was arrested. Next, another friend of his, also involved in drugs, was killed, murdered. However, Brendan still wasn't ready to leave his drug dealing life. One day, Brendan received a call from his mother. It was about his dad. His dad was a good man, but was involved in a lot of things he should not be involved in. His mother told him that his dad had committed suicide, shot himself in the head. Brendan decided to leave drug dealing and to pursue something more noble. Brendan still had his job at Abercrombie, and one day a customer walked in and asked him to do a modeling gig. Brendan, still having his extraordinary physique, accepted, and he became a model. Brendan did this for a few years, and he was finally making a stable amount of money. Still having a passion for music, Brendan decided to share his music to the world through a different platform, not a record company, but YouTube. Continuing his modeling career, Brendan Carter also started a YouTube channel, and he started putting out videos of himself playing the guitar and singing. People enjoyed the music, however, people were constantly commenting on how big his arms were. So Brendan decided to put out a few fitness videos. That's when his channel really grew. Brendan was actually happy in his life for the first time, and he decided to leave his modeling career and focus on his YouTube channel. However, one day, something terrible happened. Brendan received an email from YouTube saying that his account had been terminated. Brendan was confused and lost. He had no idea why. He was constantly emailing YouTube, trying to figure out why his account had been canceled, shut down, but no response. Distraught, Brendan turned to his friend, who worked at Abercrombie with him, and together they started working at a food catering service. It was around this time when Brendan read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. This book completely changed his life and his perspective of success. It inspired him, and he decided to become an entrepreneur and start his own company. Along with his friend, Brendan was constantly planning moves for his company. And when they weren't working, him and his friend were sharing new ideas in order to start their own business. Eventually, Brendan finally started his own company, Bro Labs, a fitness supplement company. This company did well. He was successful. And now, Brendan decided to start his YouTube channel again, brand new, from a fresh start. But this time, he would only put out fitness videos, not that music stuff that he used to be into. This channel boomed in popularity, and so did his business. And Brendan was truly successful. Today, Brendan is living in the penthouse of a New York City skyscraper. This is his actual house. Brendan's YouTube channel has close to 1 million subscribers, and Brendan also started his own online coaching service. Brendan is also happily married and is a fitness icon. Brendan went from a small, weak, fragile kid in the streets of Chicago to a drug dealer, to a model, and eventually a successful businessman and a fitness icon. He did this by realizing, and this is in his own words, nobody gives a about your excuses. The only thing people care about is results. Either you did it or you didn't. Brendan Carter struggled a lot in his life and faced more than many men should have to. He was poor, beat up, father shot himself in his head, friends arrested, all of that. But in the end, he came out successful. Brandon learned a lot in his journey towards success. He was motivated from the start. He always wanted to achieve something in life. However, he truly learned hard work. Brendan was weak, beat up. He worked hard, got stronger. He was poor, worked hard, owns a multi-million-dollar company now. He wasn't impacting enough people's lives. Now he's helping millions of people online achieve their own great body. Brendan also learned confidence. Brendan was able to negotiate with people, make great deals in order to make amazing business moves. Brendan was also able to share advice with lots of people worldwide, online, through YouTube, through online coaching, and many other platforms. He also goes here and there and holds many conferences, speeches about motivation, similarly to here today. Lastly, and probably most importantly, Brendan got a grasp of reality. He learned that life isn't fair, life is tough, and only those who really work hard will become successful. Never criticize, never condemn, never complain is what he lived by. And I 100% agree with this statement and will, not try to, but will implement it in my own daily life in order to achieve my own goals. In order to achieve my own goals. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. I really appreciate all of you listening to me. I'd also like to thank you for really taking your time to tune into what I have to say. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I would also like to thank Mrs. Priya Kartik for teaching me throughout my experience at Enspire Academy and helped me get my public speaking as well as confidence to a whole nother level. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents for enrolling me into this class. It really changed me. Similarly to the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, did to Brendan Carter, this program has really changed my perspective of life. Lastly, I'd like to end this on a positive note with one last quote. If we see that you've had to overcome something great, if we see that you've had to give it all you've got, if we see that you've had setbacks, and that you've had to fight tooth and nail in order to come up on the other side victoriously, we are all going to stand up and applaud you. Brendan Carter. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.